All right, so welcome back to the shop. If you guys have been following along, notice we're getting close to the rigging stage here. We're still missing a hatch lid. So today I am going to make a quick video to show you guys how I am making a lid for that big front compartment using a little bit of melamine. So stay tuned. So this is actually a very easy process. Perfect project if you guys are looking to maybe do your first little melamine mold, maybe make your first fiberglass part and want to dive into something easy. This is about as easy as it can get. So really all we've taken is some 3/4 inch melamine. This is actually two little pieces I bought from Home Depot. It was a 24 by 36 inch shelf and then a smaller shelf for the sides. That hole I made 24 by 28 roughly. So a 24 inch wide piece was perfect. I actually cut it a little bit narrower because you want to have, a little bit of a little gap on the sides here, so it'll open and close. So did the measurements. I think it's 23 3/8 by 27 3/4, whatever, something like that. A couple drywall screws. Basically just made a simple little box here. Some plasticine clay that you can pick up on Amazon or pretty much any fiberglass supply shop. This stuff is great. It doesn't dry. So I've had this bag for a year or two now. A little bit of mold release. You don't need a lot because this melamine is pretty self-releasing. Fiberglass and resin doesn't stick to it too well. These guys, these little roller tools, not a roller tool, little ball tool. You can get these for fiberglass. They're expensive. These are actually for cake fondant. I found them on Amazon. I think it was like 10 bucks for like a 4 or 5 pack of the different ones. They're just stainless steel, so if you do soak them in the acetone though, that rubber will come off. But basically you just take this clay, put it in the corner, strike it across, and it's going to make a right nice little fillet. So you just want to round off all your corners. Like I said, a little bit of mold release wax to just kind of help it pop out. Basically, got a couple layers of glass. I'm going to use the same laminate schedule as I did for the rest of the floor. So it has 4 layers on the top, 2.5 ounce matte, and 2 layers of 1708. Some of the core. This is 3/4 inch Demolding H80 that I used for the rest of it. You can see this piece I actually had cut out of the floor when I was laying it all up, and I saved it because I had a feeling that I was going to need it. Did have to cut that down, cut about 1 inch off each side, because of course this was cut down a little bit. Glass is going to take up about 1/4 inch on the outside, so cut that to fit. Drilled a couple holes in it as well. So really what I'm going to do, lay some gel coat, got to let that cure. Come back in with the 4 layers for the top, press the core, the 3 layers for the bottom, cut some layers for the side just because it's easier than cutting pleats and things. Let it cure and pop it out. So anyways, let's get started. Starting on the gel coat here, using about 10 ounces to start. Just going to brush it on. There's no sense to get too fancy with this. It's going to flatten out pretty well. So I am using non-waxed laminating or exterior gel coat. So just make sure, God, I got a bunch of little dust particles and hairs and stuff coming here, but I just want to pour this out and start working it around. When I'm brushing this on, I always want to do 2 good coats. There are mill gauges, and of course, if you're not familiar with working with gel coat, definitely recommend picking up one of those while you are at the fiberglass shop getting your materials. I believe, I want to say 25 mils, whatever, around there is the amount you want. So roll this on kind of heavy, go up these sides, and then you want to let it cure. It's not going to fully cure because there's no wax in this stuff, and gel coat, just like any other polyester product, needs to be inhibited from the air to cure, but it will harden up. And sorry if it's getting a little wonky, I'm kind of watching what I'm doing while I'm doing this. But once it hardens up, then you can go with the second coat. But if you put it on too thin or start laminating it too soon, you are going to get the dreaded alligatoring, which is where it kind of, the styrene kind of attacks itself, makes a mess out of it. So let's go ahead and get this brushed on all the way. We'll check back in. And this is what you're looking for after the first coat of gel coat. I mainly just want to make sure everything's got a coat on it and there's no big puddles or, you know, drips or anything. You know, anything crazy on there. Don't worry about the wrinkles or the, you know, brush strokes or anything, because this is going to be on the inside, of course, once you pull the glass on it. Let's show you one little thing here. I don't know if it'll pick it up, but you'll see once you start, you know, it'll start to kick just a little bit. It'll start to kind of clump and pull and things like that. That's what you want to get away from. So just, you know, don't overwork it. When it's kind of fresh, you just poured it out, it's going to lay out pretty well. It's going to flow around a little bit. After it starts to tack off just a little bit, you got to leave it alone, or you're just going to pull it apart and make a mess out of it. Also, styrene's heavier than the air, so it is going to sit down in this box. So have a fan going. Respirators are always a good idea because you don't want to stick your head down in there and breathe. So that's it. Walk away, give it a half hour, 45 minutes. It's about 92 in the shop right now, so I'm going to kick that pretty heavy. So it should not take long for this first coat to tack up. And then we can put our second one on, start laminating. Been about 20 minutes. This is not leaving anything on your fingertips when you touch it lightly. So I think we're good to put the second coat on. Same process as before. We're going to do about 10 more ounces. And just kind of, you know, cross the grain, brush it around. Just don't work it too hard, but we'll build it up just a little bit more. Second coat's rolled on, and bust out the mill gauge. This is what I had referred to in the last clip. It's basically just a little piece of aluminum. It's got marks on it from 1 to 80. That's how many mils. You know, it measures the thickness. Basically, you just stick it down in there, pick it up and look at the bottom, and see if it'll focus on that. Whichever one does not have material on it, that's kind of where you're at. So right now we're between 20 and 22 there. That one comes up a little higher, about 24, so 26. I think we're right where we need to be. I'm not going to work this too hard, but I'm just going to make sure there's no other big clumps or lumps in there. Put it to bed. It's been about an hour. Came out here to start laying up the glass, and I saw something. I'm going to show you guys, 'cause it's not always perfect, but this, so I was talking about alligatoring, that's what you're dealing with. So there's two tiny little spots there. There's one little one right there. And basically what that is I just didn't get the gel coat thick enough in those two little spots. The rest of it all looks fine. It's nice and, you know, firm. So if you leave that and lay glass up over it, come back, pull it off the mold, you're gonna have some nasty looking marks on there. So let me cut this off real quick, show you what it is. There you go. Just scored it with the razor knife, but let's see if I can peel that off. Yeah. So that's what your whole surface would look like if you were to leave that. So caught it now. I was gonna laminate this up now, but instead I'm just gonna cut that little patch out, and that one I'm gonna put a little more gel coat on there, fix it up, and come back in the morning. Next morning, looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead and start laying up the glass. Okay, I had to pause just for a second there because that actually turned out a little thicker on the sides than I thought. So I had to bust out the razor knife and trim a little bit more off of the edges, but it's fitting in there pretty well now. Lots of resin squirting up and out through those weep holes, which is exactly what I want. It means I'm getting a good bond. Excuse me. So I'm gonna babysit this for a minute, clean some of these up as I go just so they don't leave big puddles everywhere, and basically just walk away for an hour or so and finish my cold coffee. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Did have one extra layer of matte, but ran out of resin. So I'm gonna see how it feels with the two on the inside. I'm sure it'll be more than strong enough. The rest of this floor is really overkill, having 7 layers of glass on it. So anyways, let this cure. It's good and translucent. You can see all the weep holes in there, so that's what I want. And not super worried about the tops because this is about 1 inch deeper than it needs to be. It's going to get trimmed off. So only thing to do now is walk away, let it cool off. It's getting a little warm. Come back to it in about half hour. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fan on it. We'll be back. Been probably an hour since we laid this up. It is cooled off to the touch. Ran around it real quick just with the oscillating tool, cut a couple little pieces and then hit it with the sander because while the inside of this is waxed, the top of it obviously isn't, so you just want to kind of break that little bond. You'll get some gel coat or resin or whatever in there. But anyways, moment of truth. I'm going to go ahead and pop these screws out and see what we got. The left side here literally just fell off, so that's good. Good release on there. If you have any issues with that, need a little something for this. They do make mold release wedges out of like a real hard plastic, but screwdriver works just fine as long as you're not worried about a perfect finish, because it will scratch it a little bit. Easy enough. Oh, forgot a screw. There it goes. All right, overall, not too bad. You got some clay on here still, no big deal. One or two little spots that I missed with the alligator, but that I'm not too concerned about. Still a little warm, but overall it looks like a hatch, so call that a win. I will let it finish cooling off a little bit. It's still a little toasty on the bottom here. We'll get it cleaned up. All right, I think that'll do. It's pretty stinking thick. Should be good. There's a couple little spots I gotta touch up, but that's not a big deal. So now, the moment of truth. Boom. Just like that, we have filled the hole. There we go. Went ahead and rolled some non-skid on there. I have a whole video on that in the series here, one video back, if anybody is interested in that process. And I had a couple little imperfections that I had mentioned. I took a little spreader when I was doing the gel coat for the non-skid. I just dabbed a little in there and just kind of gave it a little wipe, smoothed it out. And then one little deeper spot, I just touched it with the brush. And as soon as that's cured, I'll wet sand that out. But that is simple, no need to drag you guys along to film that part. I think overall, I'll call this one a success. For half a day's work and about $100 worth of material, we have a perfectly fitting custom hatch. All right, final thing, brushed a little bit of PVA polyvinyl alcohol on there just to cure it up the rest of the way. I'm not sure if I'm gonna gel coat the underside of these or what, but for now I'm not gonna worry about it. I got a couple other things to work on the boat, so I'm just gonna cure it and put it to bed for a while. And so with that, we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Thank you as always for watching. Do appreciate it. Getting close on this boat. It's about rigging time. So I've got a whole bunch of supplies showing up in the next couple days. So stay tuned if you're interested in that process. We're gonna start installing all these hatches, rub rails on the way. Got some custom paint colors getting matched up and mixed, and will be shipped out soon. And what else? Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. So subscribe, stay tuned, and look forward to the next one. Talk soon, guys.